Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. Grab a couple of yoga blocks and a strap, and let's begin in a comfortable seat of your choice. You may even like to sit on top of your block. In the Yoga Sutras, there is a practice called Pratipaksha Bhavanam, and I've mentioned this before, it's been a while, and it means when a disturbing thought arises, cultivate the opposite. When a disturbing thought arises, cultivate the opposite. I was talking in yesterday's class about how yoga teaches us to become more aware of our subtle vibration, the slightest thought and how it can affect us emotionally. And then when we invest in the thought, whether or not it's true, how we amplify its emotional and thus vibrational impact on our being. So how do you catch the thoughts before they become beliefs? If we define a belief as a thought that you repeat so much, whether or not it's true, you have adopted it as true. So in today's meditation practice at the end for 5 minutes, I'll guide us through just a short observing of our thoughts, specifically limiting beliefs that we may have adopted through our own choice, consciously or unconsciously, passed down from generations before us, from our experiences in childhood or even in adulthood, societal conditioning, all these things that can affect our minds and thus affect our reality and whole well-being. Let's begin by opening the body, empowering ourselves and allowing energy to flow, creating an open receptacle so that when we sit with the mind at the end, we can be more intentional with it. But let's start being intentional here and now with body, mind, and breath. So as you're sitting still, begin to scan your awareness throughout your physical body. Noticing without judging the sensations that are alive in your body right now. And feeling your physical state. Bring your awareness to the breath as you allow your body to breathe naturally. Noticing whatever you can sense about the quality of your breath. Thereby tuning into your energetic state of being. Now tune into your mind. What is the activity of your mind right now? What kinds of thoughts are passing through or being fed and amplified? If we remember that thoughts are merely events, and you can choose to feed a thought or let it go, or practice Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Notice how the thoughts are affecting the way you feel mentally and emotionally. Using your emotions as an inner guidance system to alert you when a thought is aligned to your inner truth or misaligned. So now let's begin to uplift our vibrations. Think of something that you appreciate, taking a moment to offer gratitude. And then center your mind on what you choose to cultivate in your feeling state or bhavanam. Bring about a thought or a belief that you want to feed. Setting your intention for this practice. Moving outside of the ego self and remembering our connection to all of life, take a moment to dedicate today's practice to someone or something that you care about. Let the breath in more slowly, feeling the very top of your inhalation before you open the mouth and empty the breath. Inhaling a little deeper, but gently expanding your lungs and down to the pit of your belly. And feel free to let out any sound as you exhale through your mouth. Feel the end of the breath where it's emptied. And then once more, helping to release any stagnant air as you exhale. Let's prepare to chant together 3 ohms, a way to create resonance as we're sharing our practice. Inhale deeply. As you close your lips, breathe in through the nose. And as you breathe out through the nose, draw your navel in towards your spine. Inhaling, exhale more strongly. Now, just focusing on the exhales, let the inhales be passive, start to create a percussive rhythm. Continue to close the lips and exhale, exhale, exhale through the nose. So we're about to start a minute of practicing breath of fire, Kapalabhati Pranayama, which is a way to activate your inner fire, your digestive fire, and help to cleanse any sort of stagnancy, open up energy flow. So I'm going to watch the clock for 1 minute. Do what you can to keep a consistent, rather brisk rhythm. You might close your eyes and steady your gaze at your third eye center, Ajna Chakra, towards the center of the forehead inward. And ready, inhale, begin. So let the inhales happen passively, but focus on exhale, exhale, exhale. Each time bouncing the belly inward towards the spine. All the while lips are closed, just breathing through the nose. Half a minute left. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath in as long as you comfortably can, lifting your pelvic floor, draw your navel inward and upward towards the heart, lengthen the back of your neck and gently drop chin towards the chest. And when you can't comfortably hold the breath in anymore, exhale slowly and relax to natural breathing, observing the effects of that pranayama. We're going to continue with another warming breathing technique that will help steady our mental focus, and that's Ujjayi Pranayama. So closing your lips, softly narrow the back of your throat, invite a soft, smooth, and even whispering sound as you inhale and exhale slowly through your nose. As you listen to that sound, you are attending to what is only in the present moment. So use that sound anytime your attention diverges into something else to bring yourself back to the body, back to the practice, as that is part of the practice too. So let's make our way into downward facing dog. Start with your hands and knees on the floor, fingertips facing the front of your mat. As you lift your hips up and back, start to pedal out your feet. Take a moment to dance your downward facing dog, or rather move your body in any way that just helps to open energy flow. If you're feeling any stagnancy along the neck, you might softly shake and nod your head a few times. Maybe swivel your hips left and right. Open up the sides of your waist, your outer hips. Spread your fingers wide apart and flatten the palms on the earth as you point your index fingers straight ahead or slightly turned out. Then broaden the space across your shoulder blades by rotating the outer sides of your upper arms towards the ground. Dropping your head, look towards your feet on one spot and lift your shoulder blades up away from your neck. Feel free to keep your knees as bent as needed so that your hips can be at their highest point as you create a flat back, sending your weight towards the rear edge of your mat, sinking downward through the heels. Hug in your belly. Press the top fronts of your thighs further back. And tune into 2 more slow, even breaths through the nose. After the end of the second exhale, walk up to the top of your mat into a forward fold, separating your feet hips distance apart, parallel to each other. Bend the knees at least a little bit as you press your fingertips on blocks, your shins, or the ground. Inhaling, lengthen your spine forward, parallel to the floor, drawing your shoulders back, firm in the belly. Exhaling, bow towards your legs. Let's connect movement to breath. Press down with your fingertips again. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward into half forward fold, or Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow forward into Uttanasana. This time, root to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and overhead, rising to stand in a gentle back bend in Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, join your hands in prayer above your head and trace your thumbs down the center line of your body to your heart into Padasana. Remind yourself of your intention for this practice. Empty this breath, and as you inhale, sweep your arms overhead and coil your chest up again in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward from your hips, Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips on the floor beside your heels. And inhale, step your left knee to the ground behind you in a kneeling lunge, gazing up. As you hold your breath, step back into the top of a push-up plank pose with legs straight or knees on the ground. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin, sticking your tailbone up, gaze forward, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide your belly to the floor with legs straight and coil your chest up into Cobra or Bhujangasana. Exhale, press the ground away, lift your hips back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb and lower your back knee, gazing up. Keep your hands down in Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, coil your chest, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring your palms in prayer down to your heart in Padasana. One more time, inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your fingertips. Inhale, step your right knee back, gaze up. Holding your breath, step into your version of plank pose. Exhale, lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, slide to the floor, coiling up to cobra. Exhale, lift your pelvis to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward, left knee down, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step your left foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together, Padasana. Second series of our Surya Namaskars, sun salutations. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana again. Exhale, Uttanasana. This time, plant your fingertips on your legs, blocks or the floor, and inhale, lengthen forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Step into your plank pose, and as you firm in the belly, exhale, glide forward, bend your elbows back to hug your side ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower to Cobra or flip the toes and lift the hips, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's be still here. Steady your eyes on one focal point and listen to 3 full cycles of breath. After the 3rd exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Uttanasana. Press with your hands. Inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale again, Uttanasana. Root down to your feet. Inhale, rise up into Urdhva Hastasana with a back bend. Exhale, Padasana. Let's take the sequence one more time. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank or lightly jump into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Pause for 3 deep breaths. Tune into your mind. Notice the activity of your mind here. Being aware of the thoughts that are passing through. Finish the exhale, then walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. Coming into our last series of Surya Namaskars, bring your feet together so that the inner edges of your big toes touch, preparing for Utkatasana, chair pose. Empty this breath. As you inhale, bend your knees together to touch, and maybe graze the floor with your fingertips, keeping your hips that low before you raise the arms up, chair pose. Exhaling, lean your weight forward, then bow from your hips, Uttanasana. Press with your hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step into plank or float into Chaturanga. Continue on to your Vinyasa. At downward facing dog, Keep your two hips leveled in height and inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, gently step the foot forward beside your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. Inhale, facing forward, rise up to stand in warrior one. Exhale all the way through plank and chaturanga dandasana. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Keep your hips balanced in height as you inhale to raise the left leg back. Exhale the foot forward, gently beside your left thumb. Spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise facing forward in Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale all the way down. Continue into your Vinyasa. And once again, pause in downward facing dog, cultivating stillness, awareness of your mind, and steadiness of breath. After the third exhalation, walk or lightly jump your feet together at the top of your mat. Then inhale, lengthen forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. Gliding your shin bones back. Exhale, rise up to stand in Padasana. Now let's take that sequence one last time. And hopefully, like me, you're getting a bit warmer. Inhale, sit low, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step or float to Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue into your Vinyasa. From downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step it forward, drop the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, lower into your Vinyasa. From downward facing, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, step it forward. Back heel down. Inhale to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale into your Vinyasa. Three breaths in stillness at downward facing dog. As you're noticing your thoughts, also notice the vibration of your thoughts, the way they impact you emotionally. After the third breath, walk or float to the top. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees together. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Padasana. Let's step the feet hips width apart. Take a strap. And then from here, step the left foot back 2/3 as far as you did in warrior one. Keep your hips facing forward and your legs straight. Holding the strap in your left hand, raise your left arm. Dangle the strap behind your back, and with your right hand, help to rotate your left outer upper arm forward. Bring the elbow behind your head, then press both of your shoulders down. Reach your right hand underneath behind you to catch the other end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. If you can reach, clasp your hands and drop the strap. Spreading your toes, activate the muscles in your legs and your abdomen. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs as you breathe in to lift your chest. Lead with your chest. As you exhale, to bow slowly from your hips, breath by breath. Inhale, pause, root down through the legs, and lengthen your spine further. Exhale, fold another little bit to your capacity. Pyramid pose with arms in cow face pose. Parsvottanasana with arms in Gomukhasana. Last 2 breaths. Press down to your feet. Inhale, slowly rise up. And release the arms. Grab your strap for the second side and step left foot forward, right foot back. Raise your right hand, dangling the strap behind you. With your left hand, help to rotate your right tricep forward and bring the elbow behind your head. Reach the left hand behind you underneath, catch hold of the strap, and walk your hands as close together as you can, maybe clasping the hands and letting the strap go. Get your grounding. Feet about hips width apart so that hips can evenly face forward with your legs straight, both heels down. Spread your toes so they're not gripping your mat. Activate the front muscles of your thighs, your belly. Breathe in and roll your shoulders behind you. Breathe out, imagine a string is pulling your sternum forward, breath by breath as you hinge from your hips. Parsvottanasana. Two more breaths. This time, place your hands flat on the ground and step into plank pose. Choose to take another vinyasa, flow through cat to cow, or meet us straight in downward facing dog. A downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg straight behind you. But as you exhale, hug that knee high outside your right shoulder in plank pose. Step the right foot beside your right thumb in a high lunge. Inhale, rise into crescent pose. Spin the left heel down, align right heel to arch of left foot, and open the arms into warrior 2. Now let's pause here for about 5 to 7 breaths. Bend your right knee directly above your right heel, pressing the outer edge of your left foot firmly into the ground. Rotate your right sitting bone beneath you, pressing the top of your left thigh bone back. Stack your 2 shoulders right above your 2 hips, spreading wide across your arms. Steady your eyes on one spot, just past your right hand. Last 2 breaths. Virabhadrasana 2. Keep your right knee bent, and from the right shoulder socket, flip your right palm to face up. Lift your spine and side bend towards your rear wall, entering a side bend, peaceful warrior. Make sure your right knee does not turn to the left. Keep your right knee pointing forward in line with your middle toe. Optional to wrap the left arm behind your back. Maybe catch the top of your right thigh. Relax your shoulders. 3 more breaths. Focus on breathing into the right side of your torso. Keep your right knee bent. Come back through warrior 2 And let's prepare for extended side angle pose. Glide your hips sideways towards your rear wall and reach your torso towards the front wall, placing your right hand on a block or the floor to the right side of your right thigh, directly under your right shoulder. Raising your left arm up, rotate the tricep to face your left wall. Then sweep the left arm overhead, drawing both shoulder blades down your back ribs. Keep rotating your right sitting bone under your body. Imagine it's reaching towards your left heel. Spin your chest slightly to face the sky, landing your eyes with intention onto one spot. Utthita Parsvakonasana. One more deep breath. Cartwheel your hands to plank pose. Optional to flow through a vinyasa or step back to downward dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, slowly hug the knee outside your left shoulder in plank. Step the left foot beside your left thumb into a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Spin your right heel down, align left heel to arch of right foot and open your arms to warrior two. Steady your gaze. Tune into your breath. As you're bending your left knee right above your left heel, firm the outer edge of your right foot into the floor. Spin your left sitting bone under your body and firm the top of your right thigh bone back towards you. As you lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders. About 3 more breaths here in Virabhadrasana 2. Keep your left knee bent, and from your left shoulder, rotate the left palm to face up. Lengthen your spine, then side bend towards your rear wall, entering peaceful warrior. Keep your left knee pointing forward. Optional to wrap the right arm behind your back, maybe catch the top of your left thigh if you took that variation on the first side. Expand the breath, especially into the left side of your torso. 2 more breaths. Keep your left knee bent and rise through warrior two, preparing for extended side angle. Glide your pelvis sideways towards your back wall and lengthen your torso sideways towards your front wall, placing your left hand on a block or the floor to the left side of your left thigh. Make sure your left wrist lands directly under your left shoulder. As you raise your right arm, rotate the outer upper arm to face your right wall. Then extend that arm forward, drawing your shoulder blades down your back ribs. Spin your chest slightly to face the sky, landing your gaze, your drishti. 3 more breaths. Inhale fully. This time, exhale your hands to the top of your mat and step forward to fold. Bring your feet together to touch and inhale to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees together, sitting into chair, cactus your elbows apart to prepare for eagle pose. Wrap your right elbow above your left elbow. Either press the backs of your hands together or wrap your forearms in palms. Walk the shoulders down. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Turn out your left leg, and flexing the foot, wrap your left leg as much as you can over the right. You might place your toes on a block outside the right foot, or you might tuck the toes behind your right calf, in which you'll probably need to scissor your left outer hip slightly back. Stack your elbows and knees down the center line of your body. Sitting lower can help feel more grounded. Steady your gaze. We're here for 3 more breaths in eagle pose, Garudasana. Optional to keep your arms in eagle as we enter Warrior 3. Otherwise, you can place your hands in prayer at your heart or lower your hands on blocks or the floor in front of you. Start to lift up, unravel the left leg straight behind you horizontally as you flex the foot. Lengthen your torso forward horizontally as you square your hips evenly to face the ground. Rotate your left outer hip downward. Tack your right outer hip back. And reach your chest forward, pressing your inner left heel towards your rear wall. 3 more breaths. Virabhadrasana 3. Slowly step the ball of your left foot to the rear of your mat, entering crescent lunge. Backstroke your right arm towards the rear wall and extend your left arm towards the front wall. Keep your tailbone lengthening down as you bend your right knee right above your right heel, lifting up through the back of your skull. Pressing the shoulder blades down, breathe in. Exhale, continue to rotate your chest to face the right wall. And start to lean your torso towards the front wall, entering a lunge twist. Optional to hook left elbow outside right thigh and join your hands in prayer at your heart center. Optional to place the left hand on the inner side of your right foot on a block or the floor and raise the right arm to the sky or towards the front of the room. Also optional to lower the left knee to the ground if you need more support. Harita Parshvakonasana. Twisting side angle pose. Tune into 3 more breaths. Stay in the twist, gaze down at your right big toe. Then lower your hands on 2 blocks to frame your right heel. Lower the left knee to the floor right under your left shoulder and lift the ball of your right foot flexed. Plug your right thigh bone back deeper into your hip socket while stretching your chest forward to lengthen your spine. Bowing in breath by breath into half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, start to lift your chest, then the rest of your spine. Bend your right knee, step your right foot flat, step your left foot forward to meet the right. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit low again in chair pose. Bend your elbows apart like a cactus shape. Cross the left elbow over the right, taking your variation of arms in eagle pose. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Turn out your right thigh at the hip and wrap the right leg as much as you can over the left. Flex the foot or tuck the toes behind the calf and scissor the right hip further back. Stack your elbows and your knees down the midline of your body. Feel free to sit a little lower. Now let's listen to the breath and observe your mind. Lifting your torso a little higher. Feel free to keep your arms in eagle or another variation for warrior three. Flex your right foot and press the inner heel towards the back wall. Lengthen your torso towards the front wall. Rotate your right outer hip down. Spiral your inner right thigh towards the sky. Draw your left hip back and lengthen the crown of your head and chest forward. One more deep breath. Slowly step the ball of your right foot to the rear of your mat into crescent lunge. Backstroke your left arm towards the rear wall and extend your right arm towards the front wall. Lengthen your spine downward and twist to the left. Lean your torso forward and find your spinal twist in the variation of Parita Parshvottanasana. Inhale as you lengthen through your midline. Balance the height of your hips. Exhale as you deepen the twist at your waistline. One more full breath. Gaze at your left big toe and lower your hands on 2 blocks to frame your left heel. Set your right knee to the ground, right under your right hip. Lift the ball of your left foot flexed and plug your left thigh bone back deeper into your hip socket as you lengthen your chest forward. Little by little, folding in. Half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. Next, inhale, lead from your chest to rise up. Please step your left knee behind you and use your 2 blocks to create a train. Set up your blocks on the middle height, second level, across the top of your mat. Extend your arms forward with the palms face down. Spin your outer upper arms downward to spread your shoulder blades apart and draw the shoulders away from your neck. Keep doing those 2 actions as you place your bent elbows exactly your shoulders distance apart on the blocks. Press your fingertips into each other and step your knees a couple inches behind your hips. Breath by breath, trace your thumbs down the back of your skull, down the back of your neck as far back as you can, dropping your head, sinking your chest, while firming in the belly, drawing the sitting bones back. 5 more breaths. Activate your belly to rise. Come back to hands and knees and to sit right up at the center of your mat. Let's bring the feet in front of you, preparing for our last few back bends. We're going to start in bridge with an option to move then into upward bow. So take a block, at least for the first round, and hug the skinniest width between your knees and thighs. Separate your feet as wide apart as your knees are and parallel your feet to each other. Press your feet firmly down, extend your arms forward and lengthen your spine. Relax your shoulders. Slowly as you can, lower onto your back. Deep breaths. When you lower your head, bring your arms down by your sides close to your rib cage. Ground the backs of your shoulders and tilt your chin slightly away from your chest. Slide your heels back until you could almost touch them with your fingertips. Then slide them another 3 inches forward. This will help us to activate our glutes and hamstrings a little more when the heels are a little further forward. Press down through your feet and keep your pelvis on the floor, but start to tilt your tailbone upwards towards the block, activating your lower belly. This helps to strengthen and lengthen the lower back. Then begin to stretch the tailbone towards the block. Slowly lift the pelvis, engaging your glutes and the back muscles of your thighs, which are your hamstrings. Breath by breath, stretching the fronts of your thigh bones forward, hug the block and spin your inner thighs slightly towards the ground. Without moving your feet, isometrically drag your heels towards your glutes. Lifting your heart, walk your upper arms closer together underneath your back ribs. Keeping your arms straight. If your hands meet, interlace your fingers. Press down to the outsides of your upper arms, coiling your chest up and actively stretching your tailbone forward towards the block. Give yourself 5 to 7 more full breaths here in Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. Then when you're ready to, use an exhalation to very slowly lower your spine to the floor. Don't hug your knees just yet. Just rest for 3 breaths. Pelvis on the floor when you're done. Choose to keep the block or remove it, but keep the same actions happening as if you have the block. Upward facing bow. Other option is to go into bridge pose again on your own for 5 to 10 breaths. If you're going to take it through the stages of moving towards upward facing bow, raise your arms and rotate your triceps forward. Bend your elbows towards the sky, making sure your elbows do not splay wider apart than shoulders distance. Flip your palms to face the ground alongside your ears with your fingertips slightly turned out. Draw the shoulder blades down your back ribs and lift your pelvis like bridge. I'm going to tell you the steps before I go into it because the mic keeps falling off. So when you go into bridge, bring the crown of your head to the floor and notice how that feels. Make sure your thighs are still parallel, your feet are still parallel. And if your body's okay with going further, push off your hands, lifting your head off the floor. Continue to stretch your thighs forward and isometrically drag your heels back. 5 to 10 breaths. Urdhva Dhanurasana. When you come out of your last back bend, let's meet in Supta Baddha Konasana, in which you bend the knees wide apart. If you're needing support, place a block under each outer thigh. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch, and rest your left hand at your heart center, your right hand on your lower belly. Relax your shoulders and tune in to your body, your breath, and your mind. Two more deep breaths here. Then place your hands in your outer thighs, lift your knees together and wrap the right leg over the left, like eagle pose. Slide your right arm out to the right and ground that shoulder, maybe looking towards it. Scoot your pelvis a few inches to the right, lift your feet and drop your knees to the left. Now you might use your left hand to gently press away your right outer hip, adding a deeper stretch into your lower back. 4 more deep breaths. Start to lengthen your exhalations slightly longer than your inhalations, helping your body and mind to relax more deeply. Gently roll onto your back, wrap the left leg over the right, and scoot your pelvis slightly closer to the left edge of your mat. Slide your left arm to the floor, grounding the shoulder, maybe look past it. Lift your feet and begin to drop your knees to the right. Maybe use your right hand to press away your left outer hip for a deeper lower back release. Inhale for about 5 counts. Exhale for about 7 counts. And gently roll onto your back. Let's uncross the legs into happy baby or straddle your legs straight apart, making sure to keep your tailbone, shoulders, and head grounded. Allow a couple of deep sighs to release to your mouth, or lion's breath, inhaling fully through your nose, opening the mouth wide, sticking out your tongue, and exhaling any releasing sound. Cleansing, cooling breath. Very opposite of breath of fire, which we started with. Draw your bent knees together into your chest. Give yourself a hug. A thank you for showing up to your practice. Inhale deeply with your eyes closed. Squeeze in. Hold the breath at the top. Maybe try to sip in a little more air. And as you exhale, gently let your arms and legs fall to the floor. Dropping into stillness, we rest here for a few minutes in Shavasana. As you lie resting in Shavasana a little longer with your eyes closed, bring your awareness to scan throughout your physical body again. Noticing your physical state now. And as you lie resting, gently begin to move small parts of your body first, like wiggling your fingers, your toes, easing into a gentle stretch. Then slowly begin to turn over onto your right side, resting your head. Pausing there to notice your body breathing naturally. Tune into your subtle energy body and how you've affected this through your practice. As you're ready, lift your body up. Find a comfortable way to sit for 5 minutes in a guided meditation. Sit in a way that your pelvis can be evenly balanced, rooting down so that your spine can lift tall, shoulders relaxed. Place your hands in a mudra that offers you the feeling tone that you're cultivating in this practice. The energy of balance, stacking the palms face up on your lap, thumb tips touching. Or maybe a hand to the heart, a hand to the lower belly. And close your eyes or steady a soft gaze ahead. Relax your awareness onto your natural breathing. This is a practice of being mindful with our thoughts and those that we feed, including the thoughts we adopt as beliefs, and learning to practice pratipaksha bhavanam. When a disturbing thought arises, thinking of the opposite. To be intentional with your vibration. So allow a moment to observe your mind, noticing thoughts as events coming and going, observing the kinds of thoughts that appear. Now remember that your emotions are part of your inner guidance system. When a difficult emotion arises like anger, jealousy, sadness, or resentment, oftentimes your inner being is communicating to you that you have a need that is not being met. So in the next minute, as you continue observing the thoughts, also observe your emotions that arise affected by the thoughts. Did you notice any thoughts that provoked a difficult emotion? Did any disturbing thoughts arise? If so, choose one to practice pratipaksha bhavanam with. Name the thoughts. And now think of an opposite thought that you actually believe is aligned to your inner being and who you really are. Find a thought that feels good. And now tune in to any emotions that arise. This is a way of taking the reins of your mind, using your emotions as guides, and learning to intentionally uplift your vibration. To more consistently align with your true nature. Now bring our practice to close. Remind yourself of your intention. Taking a moment to offer gratitude for the space to practice, the energy to practice today. Remember to whom you dedicated today's practice. And let's close together chanting 3 ohms. Inhale deeply. Bowing in, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.